Ladies and gentlemen, good evening, good evening, good evening. Nice to have you back. Nice to have you back. You can probably see some rather large bags under these eyes. I've tried to light myself this evening that would kind of hide them, but you could probably hear in my voice as well. It's the silly season. It's the silly season. Lots of events all over the place for the Murray McDavid team. I've just got back from the Netherlands, The Hague, the International Whisky Festival. An amazing, amazing weekend of whisky celebration with our importers in the Netherlands. A 3-day marathon whisky festival that you can probably still just about hear the back end of on my throat there. So this evening, we're actually going to make a cocktail which hopefully will remedy this little rough patch of my vocal box that I'm still holding. I'm going to make a cocktail which I've never made before. It's inspired by, of course, the changing seasons where we all catch a little something as the colder nights draw in. I've not caught anything. This is just a result of 2 10-hour sessions, 1 5-hour sessions of waxing lyrical about lots of lovely whiskies. I think we had about 17 Murray McDavid whiskies on the table over the festival in The Hague. So many whiskies to chat about, so many familiar faces, which was amazing. Amazing to see those familiar faces. The whiskey fabric, the whiskey community, absolutely love it. And of course, a week or so before, we had the Glasgow Whisky Festival at Hampton. My first ever time there. Again, amazing. I've been very lucky in the past few weeks to be able to attend some incredible whiskey festivals. Glasgow, if you've never been before, highly recommend it. Incredible variety of exhibitors, incredible amount of different whiskies in the room, but most importantly, incredible people, not just behind the stands, but guests coming from all over the country, real whiskey lovers. So what an amazing festival. What an amazing festival. And these bags are evidence that I've been out there doing them. So anyway, enough chit chat. My voice is only going to get worse if I keep going like that. So, as I touched upon, I'm going to make a cocktail which might help my throat. And it's one that I've never made before. I've not even got a name for it. So if you're watching along and you want to try this cocktail, well, actually, there's a little bit of back work that you need to do, a little bit of preparation work that you need to do for this one. But ingredients, we're going to go for some orange juice, some vitamin C. That'll help us out a lot. We're going to use 50 ml of orange juice in here. Never used that amount of orange juice in a whiskey cocktail before, so I'm intrigued to see how this is going to work. Because I'm an absolute monster fan of the single grain whiskies, our select grain. This is the 11-year-old Girvan. That's been finished in the Heminis Spinola PX sherry casks. Drinks beautifully well on its own, of course. Bottled at 46% there. So we've got a nice warming alcohol strength there. Don't do it, John Hill says. Oh, John, we're all about the exploration of flavour here. Yeah, the pursuit of remedies. So, you know, for certainly, you know, an 11-year-old grain, and as the whiskey maker for this, I certainly wouldn't begrudge anybody who's, you know, looking to explore new avenues of flavour, be it in a cocktail or a highball, or what I absolutely love seeing people do at home is blending. Have a little bit of fun blending. Get an infinity bottle, yeah, really explore how flavors integrate and develop in the bottle. It's really quite stunning to watch, and you'll learn a lot, I promise. So the bit that you need to make some prior preparation is this little thing. This isn't whiskey here. This is a syrup which I've made just before coming on. Allowed it to cool down. So what I've done, 50 ml water, and in equal parts honey. So there's a lot of honey that's going to hopefully coat my vocals there and just calm everything down a little bit. But the whack of flavor that we've got going in is we've got a cinnamon stick. So in a pan, the water, the honey, the cinnamon stick, and we've got some rosemary here as well to give it a slight different edge. And we're going to use 20 ml of that Del shaker here. We're not going to shake this evening. We're just going to do some stirring. I've got a block of ice in there. We're going to go 50 ml of the orange. Oh, it's officially Whiskey Wednesday now. Let me know what you're pouring at home, folks. I'd love to know what's going on. Orange juice, I've decided to go for no bits, controversially, if you were wondering about the orange juice consistency there. But yeah, I don't want bits floating around in my cocktail today. So we're going to go 50 ml Gervin. Give it a go, John. Give it a go, John. Oh, the Devon 12, yeah, nice bit of McDuff there. Yeah, that actually I think do pretty well in this. Nice, rich, creamy, sweet malt that. So what have I got? I've got 90 ml in there. I'm not going to use the whole 90 ml. I'll be off to the doctors if I use all of that. That's far too sweet. So I'm going to try 20. There we go, close enough. And we're going to give it a nice little stir in the cocktail tin. Get all of those flavors going together. We want a little bit of dilution there as well. Okie doke. Okay. That's a lot of orange. Into my tumbler with some ice, and to top, this is where this sprays everywhere, unopened. Ooh. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Always volatile, these sparkling waters. Just going to give it a little bit of a top. So hopefully nice, fresh, sparkling. All of those fruits. Oh, you know what? Actually, I'm craving, as I make this and as I smell that, what would be absolutely delightful, but I don't have it within reach, is just a little drop of something peated, maybe something that's been in a port cask. Wow. That would have been an absolute delight. Garnish wise, if you've got your mates around, you want to be a little bit fancy, get some cinnamon in there. And more vitamin C. More vitamin C. We're going to get all of it in today because I need it. I need it. Okay. Well, that's a horrible wedge of orange. I've bought the wrong orange. So we'll have to improvise. And we'll just stick that in top. And folks, if you're drinking along this evening, cheers, welcome. Wow, actually was not expecting that flavor to pour through like that. Oh man, that's a delight. That works better than I expected. That sweet oakiness, that pepperiness from the grain comes through. Yeah, that PX. Weirdly, it actually kind of turns into a dry oak towards the end. Obviously, lots of fruit there with the orange. I probably could have done with a little bit more of the syrup. There's a little bit of cinnamon spice there. You get a little bit of that rosemary. That was on simmer on the stove, by the way, for about 2 minutes with that water, honey, cinnamon, and the rosemary. Maybe I could have pushed it maybe to 3 or 4 minutes to get a bit more of an infusion of flavour from the rosemary. Core. I tell you what, I'm going to over the next week, I'm going to have a play with that recipe, because that could be my drink of the winter. I can imagine that actually working cold or warm. You got a bit of everything in there. And I am going to dabble with a little bit of peat in there next time. I think that will really bring it all together. Delightful. I've not got a name for it as yet. So anybody at home, Lorraine, you beat me to it. Good evening, Lorraine. Yeah, what am I going to call it? I honestly have no idea. I'm a little bit, not completely burnt out, but it's been a crazy few weeks. So the creative juices might start kicking in after number 2. But right now, I don't have any names. We need to be thinking cinnamon. We need to be thinking rosemary, Girvan, PX. There's something in there. But we'll get there. Not tonight, I fear. But we'll get there. So many things happening, as I say, in terms of events over the past couple of weeks. Not just for myself, but my colleague Ben, head of sales. He was over in Germany. Dr. Murray Medicine. Oh, okay. Moving in the right direction. I like it. Oh, I definitely have to get a prescription for that. Oh gosh, honestly, the layers of that Girvan that comes through works so well with that orange. Yes, our head of sales Ben was over in Bremen in Germany for another massive whiskey festival last weekend. He's off to Switzerland tomorrow, off to Zurich. Beautiful place. If you ever go, make sure you get the cheese fondue. You'll put on half a stone, but it'll be totally worth it. And then, of course, in a couple of weeks' time, we are at the International Whisky Festival in Edinburgh. I think that's on the 9th of December. Can you believe we're already roaring towards the end of November, going into December? I don't know how too soon. Who's got their Christmas decorations up at home? I'm starting to wonder that, actually. Maybe I need to spruce the next Whiskey Wednesday up with some baubles and some tinsel. We shall see. Let us know if you've got your decorations up. When is it too early? When is it not too early? And do you have any whiskey themed Christmas decorations? I'd love to see that. I've seen some very cool whiskey baubles floating around on social media. Very cool. We've not yet dabbled, but it'd be nice. It'd be nice to get some Christmas, some Murray McDavid Christmas decorations. We shall see. But yes, if you are coming to the National Whisky Festival in Edinburgh, On the 9th of December, I'll be there. I think we also have Ben coming along to that one, possibly. But we definitely have a few other members of the team where we will be showcasing our brand new releases. Steve, of course, Steve is coming in. Defo too early for Christmas decorations. Got to wait until December. I think that's fair. I think that's fair. Although I'm going to have to check my phone because I'm sure I saw Christmas decorations in the local supermarket at the back end of August, I want to say. Maybe that's an exaggeration, but it was definitely September. Definitely September. But yeah, surely that's the rule, right? You can't have any decorations out before the end of Halloween. Surely that's a given. But anyway, I digress. Yes, come along to the National Whisky Festival in Edinburgh, 9th of December, where we will be, again, showcasing some whiskies from the brand new release. The Girvan, 11-year-old. That was actually an old release. I realise I've got my sparkling water up in the centre there. But yes, the Girvan is an older release. Actually, we released this back in 2022. This was within our rebrand release. We do actually have a follow-up Girvan. Really looking forward to the new releases. Thank you, Alan. There's 18 of them, I think. We've already taken them to a few shows, and there's already been some absolute standouts. And standouts in areas of the range where you might not expect them. Oh, John, already been on the Girvan 16. I think that was at Glasgow, wasn't it? So the Girvan is a great talking point, actually, because we've it's a nice kind of segue into talking about the development of the brand, the continuation of the pursuit of new interesting areas of flavour. The 11-year-old here, as you can see, as I've mentioned before, the cask finish here is from Jimenez Spinola, who produce Pedro Jimenez Sherry. I'm actually meeting the owner up at Royston Road in our offices in Livingston tomorrow. I'll be leaving here where I'm streaming from in Gloucestershire at 4 o'clock tomorrow morning to make the drive up to go and meet Jose, who him and his wife Laura, they are the 9th generation of the family who have been cultivating sherry from this one Pedro Jimenez grape since 1729. Can you believe? Quite incredible. And they're one of our cask partners who we always raise a glass to, because their sherry casks really quite incredible, producing really lovely, big, comforting flavors within our maturation program. The Girvan 16 that we have just released a couple of weeks ago actually is a coming together of different cask styles. So what we're trying to do is actually start to think about building flavor by using casks. It's certainly not the newest trick in the book, but it adds a really nice kind of continuation and diversity to the flavor spectrums of our releases. Because you can imagine with grain whiskey, there's only so many distilleries. So, trying to make sure that our grain offering, where our grain releases sit on the flavor map, we need to push the grain in different directions to produce interesting drams. And of course, you can do this with age, but age will only get you so far. Age is always going to help you build complexity. It's also going to help you build texture to a certain degree, especially with grain. But with younger grain, and I kind of categorize younger grain anything below the age of 18. How we push those spirit characters into different areas of the flavor map is by building those flavors by combining port casks, bourbon casks, Madeira casks. We've even got some grain maturing in ex-Islay casks to, again, broaden the horizon of our grain whiskey offering. Oh man, I just can't get enough, honestly. Just can't get enough. That is the only one, because as I say, 4 o'clock in the morning tomorrow. So that is, oh gosh, that is dangerous. Absolutely chuffed to bits with that. So yes, with our younger grain whiskies, always looking to develop a broader horizon of flavors. Certainly with you know, more and more independent bottlers taking the time and investment to mature young grain, which you know, 5 years ago really wasn't being done. So it's a really nice emerging category, which, you know, I'm hoping that we continue with Murray McDavid to build this category into something a little bit more widely appreciated and enjoyed. So, cheers to grain. Any excuse. Lovely. Lovely, lovely, lovely. So yes, John, you had this 16-year-old Gervin. Very nice indeed. We also had one of my favorite drams within the benchmark for this this release is the 14-year-old Glenlossie. It's a single malt that you don't see too much of, but it's real tropical, real fruity. It's kind of a more mellow Speyside style, nothing too heavy, nothing too you know, nothing too cumbersome. You know, it's kind of more towards the I guess you would put it towards kind of the link, a bit heavier than Linkwood, but you know, it's got those lighter fruits, maybe the tropical fruits of Glen Spey as well. 14 years of age, and we finished it for 4 years in Sauterne wine barriques. So it's got a real tropical layer and a viscosity as well, which I really appreciate. You know, nice bit of oiliness that coats the palate. So those flavors are really continuing to develop as you are working your way through the dram. And yeah, the sweetness, the tropical notes, and the maltiness, the gentle fruity maltiness comes through with that as well. Lovely, lovely dram. In the Mission Gold, one of my favorites, probably, actually, I think it's fair to say, I think I can say, Glenbergie, my favorite. Yeah, I think it wins the crown as being my favorite Speyside malt. Made partly because it's a little bit undiscovered, but those people in the know about Glenbergie, you know what's going on. It also has a bit of a soft spot in my heart because when I'm working up at Colburn and staying at Dallasdew House over in Forres, I drive past it every day. So every time I go past, give it a little wave as you're driving from Forres to Elgin. It'll be on your right-hand side with the Bergie Arboretum. Yeah, beautiful, beautiful, and a luscious, fruity, creamy style of spirit as well. And in the Mission Gold, of course, we've got some age that comes with that. So it's 28 years of age, and a coming together of an Oloroso cask and a Pedro Jimenez cask. Vatted those together, bottled at quite a delicate cask strength of 46.1, I think we're at there. But you know, the lusciousness of that whiskey holds its own. You know, it doesn't need to be any higher in the alcohol. It's just so full of flavor, so rich. And the viscosity, again, you know, clings to the palate. Classy, classy dram. It's not swamped by the sherry because those creamy tropical fruits of the malt kind of come through as a wave underneath all of those luscious sherry notes. Classy, classy dram. That's the only way to describe it. Of course, it's delicious as well. It's a 28-year-old Glenburgie, for crying out loud. Wonderful stuff. We might have that in Edinburgh at the National Whisky Festival on the 9th of December. Now, for those who might sleep on the blends, we've got some special things, special whiskies in the 2023 release. We have released just one blended malt and just one blended Scotch in the crafted blend. In the vatting, we have the blended malt, of course, which keep an eye out for this name because it's not going to last long. I think just 987 or 86 bottles produced for the UK. Sorry, produced globally. It's an 18-year-old blended malt. Now, the malts in this blend, truly incredible. There's a bit of a legacy to this blend as well. It's called Coastal Embrace, which is a name that I came up with earlier this summer as I was writing the label for this whiskey. 3 casks that make this dram. One of the casks was a blended malt. All 3 are blended malts, in fact. But the first one that I'm talking about here is actually a blended malt produced by Murray McDavid's original head of Whisky Creation, Jim McEwen, the Jim McEwen. Back when Murray McDavid were based over on Islay in the Bruichladdich era of Murray McDavid. When ACO purchased Murray McDavid, we purchased a nice parcel of stock as well as the brand. And within the parcel, of course, there were lots of lovely, beautiful single malts maturing in all different kinds of wine casks and all sorts, which some we actually still have at Colburn today. Really quite amazing stuff. But there were some quirky blended malts within that parcel as well. Again, some of which have been maturing in very prestigious red wine casks. And I've selected one of those casks to act as a core, as a base for this blended malt that we've just released. Single malts from Tobermory Distillery, from Auchentoshan, from Bruichladdich, and I've actually, well, those 3 malts, along with some Speyside malts, were maturing for those 18 years in a first fill Chateau Lafite wine cask. So a cask of great provenance and origin. And those malts have been in that cask for so long. Really rich, dense tannins, leathery cherries, and really dark, heavy flavors in there. So much so that I wanted to breathe some life and freshness into this blend, and it we have some stocks of other blended malts of various ages that you would have seen from the archives of Murray McDavid. But I actually selected a blended malt that contained Highland Park, Lefroy are the hero malts in this blend. There's some other Speyside malts in there that act as a sweet base. But those coastal whiskies, all matured in refill bourbon, still really fresh, bright, juicy, salty, little bit of smoke running through there. Slightly older than the 18-year-old stock that Jim put together. So I blended these together early last year, and you know, the 2 refill bourbon barrels of the Highland Park Lefroy Speyside malts, blended with the red wine cask of Tobermory, Bruichladdich, Auchentoshan, freshened it up a little bit, bottled it at 55.1%, sorry, 51.5%. It's a delight. It's an absolute delight. Both, well, the only shows that I've taken it to at the moment, Glasgow and The Hague, easily from the drams on the table, drams of the day for a lot of people. Amazing stuff. And we also have the Rebels Reserve and the Crafted Blend. But you know what they say? Always leave them wanting more. So we will go over the Rebels Reserve on the next installment of Whiskey Wednesday, which will be in 2 weeks' time. And I'll be up in Speyside, probably with my wellies, my scarf, and my bobble hat, because we are really stepping into the dark times of the year. Dark at about 3:30 up that neck of the woods. Anyway, folks, it's been a pleasure. I've probably, we are half an hour away if Vic Cameron's watching tonight. Let's go the Cans. The Forest Mechanics are playing tonight. Kick off at 8 o'clock. So the best of luck to those guys. A little drink to that. Folks, thank you very much for joining along. If you haven't already, go over on Facebook, Murray McDavid Whiskey Club, click join, and that's where you will be privy to some behind the scenes imagery and content. And Becca, who's in the background here, we're going to be working on hopefully a tasting before Christmas of the new release, an online tasting. So yeah, keep an eye out, keep close, and keep dramming. Cheers, and give this a try. Let me know what you think. All the best, folks. Take care.